You want to wear a rich, deep brown perfect for the season, but you don't quite know how to make it work, especially if you are as light as me. Let me show you. I am starting off with a lighter brownie nude. It's by Lisa Eldridge to line and define my lips. Next up, star of the show, Simihaze Suede Lipstick. This is so delicious looking and I want to make it work. I'm determined to make it work. You can always ease yourself into a color like that by using a detailing brush and work it softly into the skin of your lips to see just how much of that deep shade you really want on your lips. This is so highly pigmented that you get a lot of color anyway. But I'm also going to go in with a big old swipe. Being as pale as I am and also a very light olive, this is not the first shade I would think about when it comes to like a pretty makeup, but we don't always want to wear pretty makeup. We want to wear interesting colors. I am a firm believer that you can make any lipstick color work for you. It all depends on how different colors on the face play with each other. I'm going to share with you how I counteract the kind of sallowness, or a shade like that can make me look tired or is too intense of a contrast to my very light skin and very desaturated skin. And the solution to make this work and look very cool on the face is by adding a little bit of prettiness. We need a counter player to this, so something ethereal, soft in terms of textures and colors. So kind of think of opposites when it comes to playing with colors like that are very intense. I'm going to use Linen Liquid Matte by Gen Z to even out the color of my eyes, because I think after I applied that color, any kind of redness got more apparent on my eye. That is the perfect first step to an ethereal eye look. I'm gonna get rid of any kind of distractions. This alone makes such a huge difference. But I am going to apply a brightening pencil inside the waterline to make sure everything is nice and bright and open. Also, a great tip is to maybe jump from category to category. So I've done a little bit on the eyes and now I'm going to switch to the skin again, because then I know how much I want on the eyes actually. This took out all the color in my face, so I'm gonna give it back. I'm gonna do 2 layers of bronze, I think, starting with a more of a mauvey. This looks nothing like bronzer, but watch, it's like such a nice cool tone mauvey contoury bronze shade. For me at least. This is by Fit Glow. It's the Heather Fields palette. If you're quite light and desaturated, more on the yellow side, try a more mauvey, maybe sometimes it's a blush, but try a mauvey bronzy shade to warm up your face. When it comes to bronzer, I always like a more orangey one actually on me, like something that looks truly bronzed, but I have to be a little bit careful with that very muddy almost kind of brown. A too orange of a bronze would kind of look weird, but I still want color on my face. So starting off with a very soft taupey bronze is, I think, a very good idea, and we see it coming together, don't we? Going in with a second layer of bronze. This is more of a juicy bronze and also more reddish tone. This is Buriti bronzer by Hermes in this tiny cute little highlighting palette. And as I said, I want ethereal, I want it a little bit glowy. This is the perfect texture for it because this cream is a little bit more emollient and reflective. I'm blending it in nicely across the cheeks even, and on my nose. This has a little bit more red to it, so we have a blushy bronze in there too, which is kind of helpful because then I know how much blush I actually want for it to not take away from that intensity. This is looking very good so far, but before I'm going to add more blush, I'm going to switch back to the eyes. I'm going to use the rose gold shade. This is so stunning. It will be the perfect ethereal counterpart to this lip. I'm going to start applying this from the center upwards just to see how I want to build it up. If I just want it in the center or if I want it all over. But I think I want it all over. And my liquid eyeshadow is going to help this cream last longer. I'm gonna add it onto the brow bone as well. And because I have it here and I want even more glow, I'm gonna go in to the Living Luminizer with a synthetic brush and dab a little bit more brightness anywhere I want it. A little bit more light on top of that fold. So that is not going to crease, and it is a more enhanced light in the inner corner of the eye and a little bit on top of the brow. I'm going to subtly define my lash line with a long-lasting brown pencil. This is always helpful to give a little bit of depth to your lashes without having to apply a lot of liner on your actual skin. You know what I mean? So you're not going to apply the liner on top. This would take away from all the nice glowiness we have going on. I'm gonna wiggle it in between my lashes and also a little bit on the waterline. And can you see how this gives just a little bit more depth to the eyes? And then you can saturate just a little bit of color right here in the outer corners. And I like to take my nail or a angled brush and kind of flick it out, but also buff it out again. I'm going to add to the soft definition with a brown mascara. This one is by Fit Glow, and it adds to that softness. We have repetition of color. So I'm going to push into the roots of the lashes and then pull a little bit to the side. Back to blush. The first idea I have in mind is to take a little bit off that lipstick and see how it looks. Picking up this, how it's going to look on the cheeks. What we achieve with that is we have the repetition of color. A lot of lipsticks do still have a little bit of red in them, and this does too. It has this rustiness to it, which is so pretty. So when you sheer a very highly pigmented product down, you discover even more depth to the color and even more like options what to do with it. Let's bring this color onto the eyes as well. Yes, you heard right. I'm gonna use a soft fluffy brush and dust a little bit of that pigment just on top of that pointy part of the brush, and I go into the highest point of my crease. So we have added color but also a little bit of depth. I actually only have the pigment on my brush there, so there's not a lot of texture left. Finishing with a little bit of powder, really only through the center because I want to keep a little bit of the juiciness. But when we apply that powder in the center, we give much more room to the glow that we applied, especially that butterfly highlight. I hope this was a helpful tutorial for you. It can be so hard to make shades like this work, but they are so stunning, and why wouldn't you wear it? This is a good example that wear what you want, what you find attractive. If you find a color attractive, but it's quote unquote not suitable for your skin tone or your age or whatever people, magazines, whoever is going to tell you, just make it work. You can't make it work. There is one particular color that I always think is not going to work for me, and that is a hot pink. It's the most unflattering color on me, but I think for next time, we're gonna try to make a hot pink work on my skin, and then maybe it helps you. Because sometimes we just need a few ideas and like how to maneuver products and the color and how to play with that color on our individual skin tone and eye color and stuff like that. And I think we did a good job today. And if you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. Let me know if you like that kind of content and if it is helpful. And then I will see you again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.